Alright, hey guys, let me start off by saying one quick thing. Ah!
My ears.
Hey guys, it's YYfilms, and I'm here today with a great old pal of mine, Cannibal Mailman.
Hello.
If you're new to the channel, or you're just blind, I've been playing the original Dark Souls for a while now on the channel. It is honestly one of my most favorite games ever. Despite having some faults, I overall still love the game greatly. The second one personally was a pile of garbage.
I disagree wholeheartedly, but teach their own.
But for now, we're facing the upcoming of a third. But sadly, there are already issues with it. Sometimes game companies like to give certain people early copies of the game so they can get more advertisement by showing an early chunk of the game through an actual gamer's perspective and raise interest. But sadly, Bandai Namco has crossed that line. Dark Souls 3 will be releasing April 11th for the PC and 12th for consoles, but it has already released on March 24th in Japan. Now you may think, oh well, the media phenomenons probably just got copies of the Japanese game to stream and play early and milk the views, but sadly that's not the case at all. A month prior to the game coming out, Bandai Namco gave tons of early copies to tons of people to play the hell out of way before the game is coming out. People like that did a walkthrough with a deep found lore and won already. This asshole duplicates the same video of his playthrough, which I already called him out on because that's just not right. And now this guy uploaded 19 parts of his game in one fucking day. Ouroboros threw up almost 8 hours worth of content. Yeah, okay, that just seems okay. What?! How is any of this okay?
Now that video I'm willing to defend because he is a pillar of the community and he's very knowledgeable in all aspects of the game, and he's a cool kid and only did 4 parts thus far, and he's more arranged it like a proper peek like at the game like it should be. But these other people have absolutely no excuse in my opinion. The game is set to release in early to mid-April, but by the time we get the game, these early access MLG Swagalicious Pro players will have the game beat twice over in New Game Plus 7, for all we know, and monopolized all the possible views. These players will have the game, and it's just utter ridiculous horseshit. The only reason people would defend this is because they're the ones that are doing it. Don't play the game or know anything about it, don't ever intend on buying it, so they are A-okay with having everything tossed to them like it's Mardi Gras. They turn a blind eye to the business side of entertaining and just pretend this doesn't hurt anyone, or they are completely brain dead. You can say, well, people will watch you if they are good, but let me ask you something. If a friend of yours showed you a movie at his house way before it was released in theaters, would you honestly go and pay money to rewatch what you have already seen? I'm going to guess no. The same idea applies here. The people will get their spoiler-filled walkthrough now and will never bat an eye to someone coming in late. The only thing they will be able to do is straight up begin speedrunning, challenge runs, lore videos, PvP, and stat views of armor spell weapons, and that's it. The base game market is already well filled, and may I remind you, the fucking game isn't out yet. In fact, it's still weeks from its initial release for the general public. Typical companies are far more restrictive on early publicity, going so far as to have review embargoes, which I personally think is too far in the opposite direction, but I also find complete unregulation to be counterproductive, both in content creation and in the fact that it's a double-edged sword in marketing. The initial pizzazz of the game wears off after you've seen someone else play through the entire thing.
It would be one thing if only one person did it because, maybe not everyone knows them, but literally everyone and their mothers are getting copies of the game and are just running rampant with the freedom they were given. There is even an article on Kotaku addressing this issue because it's gotten so bad now. I want to like the game, I do, but when a company just blatantly disrespects its players' fan base to this extent, I don't know if I will now. Pulling shady stuff like this, and everyone en masse being okay with it, will set a horrible precedent for companies to do this in the future. It's like the stupid Kickstarter game bullshit. This should never be okay. We can rebel and not buy the game, which is absurd, but mainly the responsibility falls into the laps of the companies. They need to only give it to select people and not just any old Joe of the streets. They need to give restrictions on how far they can play, much like demos should. And they need to police the content once they do give the games out, just because trusting people to their words, in all honesty, is really foolish.
So I personally have not only pre-ordered Dark Souls 3 for the consoles and will probably end up getting it on the PC at some point, but I have pre-ordered the collector's edition equipped with the statue, and I've got the collector's guidebook on hold and everything else. So I am very excited, and I've obviously invested a lot of money into this game, and I'm very eager to play it. So that makes it even more frustrating that someone with just like a few hundred subscribers or just a minute fan base, it seems that literally anyone with even the most minute influence, save us, mind you, can get their hands on a copy of the game. Like, the amount of people that have received an early copy is mind-blowing. Ouroboros, I can understand. Huge player. VatiVidya, I respect, understand, and I'm even cool with it. I personally haven't watched any of his videos because I don't want to spoil it for myself, but it just feels wrong that so many people are getting the game for free with hardly any real right to, when the rest of us who were invested in the game, some of us with a lot of money, just have to sit and twiddle our thumbs. And I'd love to make some content with films, but there's really not much of a market for it when everyone else has it completely filled to the brim before we even get the game. On one hand, I'm really upset that the amount of content that we can create, while not limited in the fact that we can create it, but is incredibly limited in the traffic that it will receive or the amount of people who will be interested in it, I can understand where Bandai Namco is coming from. Obviously, free publicity is good publicity, even if some of it's not the best publicity. Big gamers that have a lot of views can really encourage people to buy the game, and it can get people really excited about it. So from a business standpoint, I think that while some will be turned off by the idea that, oh, maybe they find something in the game they don't like, or they just aren't as motivated to get it because they've essentially already seen all of it, and all the twists and turns may actually reduce excitement. They may be satisfied to watching a walkthrough. But on the other hand, some people are like, wow, this game is really amazing, and I want to play it. So I can't entirely be angry at them for the fact that they do it, period. It makes perfect sense. Lots of game companies do, and that's alright. The only thing I'm irritated about is that there's really no restriction on what they can post. If you give it to someone and they can play the whole game and then just do a comprehensive review, that's one thing. But posting it the entirety of the content, I feel, is a bit of a stretch. And the fact that it's so open as to how many people have received an early copy pushes the border between free advertisement and an unfair advantage to content creators, since those are the people who have been getting the majority of the copies.
I myself fall into like a weird ethereal realm of I have not watched any of the videos actually, so I'm free of spoilers, but simply just because the fact they're doing this is just super turning me off. Like I said before, if we're just letting this be okay and then they're just buying it after, you know, this is going to be a standard big old thing, and people will be like, oh, that's cool, Jim, you already got the game. I'm still waiting for my copy, you know, 2 months fucking out, but, you know, that's cool, you've already beaten it in its entirety. Cool story, bro. So, I don't know. This is all really bullshitty. Hopefully in the future, if they do plan to make any Soul sequels or any Bloodborne sequels, they won't do this again. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully they will not do this again, because it's just fucking ridiculous. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave comments in the sections, or, you know, you can share this and see what other people think of this. We'll make a flame war. We'll call out those YouTubers and see how they defend themselves. They'll just go on here and tell me to go kill myself probably. But hey, you know what? I ain't afraid to stand up against something that I think is complete and utter horseshit.
And I want to go on record for saying that I'm not even mad at most of the individual YouTubers who are doing this. Like I said, VatiVidya is great, and I absolutely love his content. Ouroboros, while a salty son of a bitch at times, I also enjoy to watch. I'm not really attacking the YouTubers themselves. It's the gaming company that has facilitated such a disparity in who can and cannot create content when it is viable that's really got me irritated. So make sure you leave your opinions on the matter, and hopefully in the future things will be a bit better regulated and more fair for content creators and players alike. Thanks for watching.